I had a great job, a family, a stable life, and a failing liver. I never drank in the morning. I never got a DUI. I never lost a job. I was never the guy people picture when they think alcoholic. Nobody thought I had a problem. And the truth is, I was a high functioning alcoholic for years. And for a long time, that made me feel safe. I thought, if I was succeeding, still showing up, still paying the bills, still being a dad, then how bad could it really be? Um, Pretty bad, actually. That's one of the biggest lies alcohol tells you is it makes you think that as long as your life looks normal from the outside, you must still be in control, right? My life didn't look like addiction. It looked successful. I had a strong career. I was dependable. I performed well at work. I had a wife, kids, house, responsibility, and pride. I wasn't falling apart in public. I was holding everything together. And because of that, I told myself I was fine. Alcohol started for me when I was young. The first time I felt that buzz, it just felt incredible. You probably know what I'm talking about. Not just fun, not just relaxing. It felt like I had discovered a switch in my brain that I didn't know had existed. A feeling of ease, relief, euphoria. And over time, that feeling became something I chased. At first, it was occasional, and then it became normal. Then it became routine, and then it became part of my identity. I was never that kind of drinker who woke up and started drinking. Uh, I wasn't missing work. I wasn't causing scenes. I was the opposite. I was disciplined. I worked hard. I got things done first. And that made me, uh, it made the habit easy to justify. Um, Alcohol became my reward at the end of the day. Then it became a stress relief, and then it became anxiety relief. Then it became the off switch for my brain. That was the part that really hooked me. I started dealing with anxiety as a young adult, and alcohol worked. At least it felt like it worked. I'd get home, pour a drink, and feel the noise in my head just go quiet. It felt like relief. It felt like peace. It felt like a warm blanket. Um, what I didn't understand was that alcohol was also making that anxiety worse. So the cycle just got tighter. Um, I'd feel anxious, then drink to feel better, right? Then I'd feel worse and drink to feel more. Because I was still functioning, I kept telling myself I didn't have a real problem. I told myself the things that people like me tell themselves, right? I'm still working. I still am a good husband. I'm still a good dad. I'm still succeeding. I have a great job. I'm not drinking in the morning. I'm not getting into any trouble at all. I'm not like those people, right? The last one is just especially as dangerous because those people are just like people whose consequences are easier to see. Um, my consequences were hidden for a long time. At home, my drinking became steady, then heavy. By the time things got really bad, I was drinking massive amounts and still trying to act like everything was normal. And then COVID made everything worse. The stress went up, the isolation went up, the structure went away. I was home, drinking earlier, drinking more, and telling myself I was still fine because I was still technically functioning. But my body was keeping score. In early 2022, things started changing. I started having digestive issues and I lost my appetite. Food made me feel nauseous. I started throwing up every morning. And then I noticed my hands really started cramping badly. And I started also feeling disoriented when I went places. My wife had to start driving everywhere. And then one day I noticed my eyes were just a little yellow. But even then, I was still in denial. Um, that's the insanity of addiction. Uh, you can be staring at the evidence and still look for another explanation. Oh, maybe it's stress. Maybe I have a gluten intolerance and that's what's making me feel bad. Maybe I'm just run down. Maybe the lighting is weird and my eyes, it's a yellow lamp. Um, Anything but the truth. Because if you admit that truth, then you have to admit the alcohol is killing you. And deep down, I think I knew by that time. I was just afraid to hear it out loud. And then one morning in July of 2022, my body just gave out. Um, I got up to go to the bathroom, and my legs became so weak, I slid down the wall and I slowly collapsed onto the floor. And then I couldn't get back up. I called for my wife. She called 911, and I remember she called the neighbor, and our neighbor came over to grab the kids to take to her house so my three boys wouldn't see their dad being hauled away in an ambulance. That was the day the illusion ended. Um, Up until then, I thought I was managing it. I thought I was different. I thought I had gotten away with it because my life still looked successful, but I was wrong. My liver was failing. And that's why I'm making this channel, because there are people out there right now who look normal, successful, stable, responsible, and functional, but they're not okay. Maybe that's you. Maybe it's someone you love. I'm not here to judge anybody. I'm here because I lived it. I know how easy it is to hide inside the label of high functioning. I know how convincing the lie can be. And I also know where it can end. I survived. I got a second chance. I have a different liver now, and I'm grateful to be here. On this channel, I'm going to be talking honestly about alcohol, liver failure, transplant, recovery, and what life looks like on the other side of all of that. So if any of this part sounds familiar, just give me a thumbs up, subscribe, because the alcoholic nobody suspected almost died. And if that was me, it could be more people than you think.